I am renovating my first house ever, and she's a job. So here she is. This is a 1913 historic home in Wisconsin. It's an arts and crafts home, and I'm wondering if I can flip around my camera here. I can't. Sometimes I'm a grandma with technology. This is the outside of my home, but let me flip around my camera. Here is a pretty side view of this baby. It is quite an interesting home. Like I said, 1913. We actually bought this home. If you've seen my other video, which I'll post below, we bought this home without seeing it. But as you can see, it is so amazing, so unique. I've always wanted a craftsman style home, and I found her. But the thing is when you haven't renovated a house, you buy it from 2,000 miles away, there's a lot to learn. So I'm going to share with you everything I've learned in the last 8 months of living here. But first, I'll only take you inside if you subscribe. Just hit that button. It actually helps me keep motivated because I've actually went part-time in my job so I can focus more on my renovation and share the journey with you. But it's kind of like a two-pronged thing. Like, I really want to be able to do this, but I also am working less, so it's like you need money to renovate. So here's the porch. The prettiest porch ever. But I have some tips so you don't make the same mistakes as I do renovating a historic home. One, this is a prime example of just going at it as soon as you move in. So I realized as soon as I moved into this house, it is a mess because we live in it too, that I am really, really good at demo and destroying things. Also, what I quickly learned, not so good at quickly repairing them. So number one, don't just go at it. Pick one project at a time. So when I finally got focused, I decided I'm gonna finish this fireplace room right here before I do anything else. And as much as my brain wants me to tackle every other project in this house, I have promised myself, promised my husband, promised my bank account that I will finish one room before moving to the next. I've had to learn how to cap off hot wires. Also learning which ones are hot because you don't want to electrocute yourself. We're ordering new windows, so I just learned how to measure a rough opening of a window. So those are just some examples of things that you're going to have to learn if you're going to completely renovate a house. The radiators on the ground, I completely emptied our boiler system so we could replace some radiators in our house. So, oh, another one, building permit. Yes, I already started opening up the walls, but I learned how to apply and get a building permit. So before you dive into a renovation, I just highly recommend spending a lot of time researching. Luckily, I'm also a reporter. I have been for 10 years, so I know those resources are all out there, and sometimes they're hard to find, but you can find them. Now, this is our poor, sad, gross, disgusting bathroom. I will say that it was a big shocker because we moved from Orlando, Florida to Wisconsin. I'm from the Midwest, but we moved from a brand new home to a more than 100-year-old home, and the only working bathroom here does not have a bath. It has a shower, and we have 2 toddlers. So it's been kind of devastating to bathe my kids when they don't like taking a shower. But so I have to bathe them basically in these large portable Tupperware. They're like moving bins. They think it's really cool. And I'm so glad because we are actually going to move the bathroom from this location. This will be the laundry room in the next few months. And the bedroom over there, I don't really want to show you. It's full of junk. because literally we have so much space, but each room is going to be something different. So we just don't know where to put some things, and it's really overwhelming at times. But I guess this lesson really is just be happy with what you have and be patient, because yes, it stinks. This whole bathroom is like the size of my old closet. The door even, gosh, you hear that? It hits the toilet. It doesn't even open all the way. So you just kind of have to be happy with what you have. That's another one. I would say another big one that I already kind of knew going into this, but don't go spending money to buy things that you won't need after your renovation. So and my husband will say, I'm a big spender because I do like spending money, even though we are not rich, and that's why we're doing it all ourselves. Because we're crazy too. But don't go buy things that you need now, but maybe not in the future. So for example, I showed you guys this on my Instagram before, but this is in our kitchen. Our kitchen, I think, was renovated by the second owner of this home. We are only the third owners in over 100 years, which is pretty dang cool. But they tried renovating this kitchen, and you can tell it's not original because the cabinets and whatnot are kind of like a 60s vibe, just not very high quality like the rest of the house. So you can tell those were replaced at some point. And we also don't have a lot of space. Like there's no pantry. They just must not have done that back then. But things scare me sometimes because I saw all those hats in the background and I was like, there's someone in my house. That could be another lesson too. If you buy an old house, prepare to be a little scared sometimes, because if you're a believer, like I am, there's some history house. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, so this is actually our TV stand. Our TV stand. It really doesn't fit anywhere in our living room right now. So one day when I was cleaning, I was like, oh my gosh, this will fit exactly where we have this odd nook in our kitchen. And so our glassware, because we didn't have any space for that, is in there. Some of our groceries, because we can't fit them all. Plus we have a tiny fridge, so not everything fits in here. But with this was a major help. Plus it looks really nice. So I was like, I might just fix that up and make that a permanent fixture in the kitchen when we're all done. What do you think about that? All right, so this might be the coolest room in the house. But it also taught me a big lesson. This is the first thing that I kind of went at. Oh, it smells in here because we have not had this room open in a while. I started on this room right when we moved in, and it's gorgeous, but I just stopped because this room is not heated or cooled. But also I changed my mind right after I started priming the walls. I'm not gonna stay in here too long because it is actually really hot in here and it kind of reeks. Ugh, I don't know why. But so this is a room. It used to be the music room here in the arts and crafts home here in Wisconsin, and they had like a record player and an organ that they actually still have in here. So I'm like trying to figure out what to do with that, because I want to incorporate the things into the house at some point. But we don't really have sufficient closet space in our room. So I was gonna make this huge room into our closet. But then when I got into it, it started getting cold. It was too cold to work in here because literally like it was just too cold even for the paint that I was working with. But as time went by, I was like, you know, I shouldn't turn this huge giant room into a closet. Like, why would you hide this? So we were gonna have this tiny room here as our room and then have this huge closet. But since then I've changed my mind. I'm like, No, mommy and daddy need the big room, so I'll show you that. This really is a big room, and at first I was like, oh, this room has to be the kids' room, right? Here's a wide angle. It's a really big room, and we have two boys, so I was like, oh, this will be perfect. And there's a bathroom right here. It doesn't work. But I also was like, wait a second. They're going to leave one day. This would be a sweet master. Plus, that's the room I just showed you, a second door to there. So while we'll take a bigger room and maybe close off a space for a closet, the kids can move into the small room, but also have that room as like a study room, a big playroom. And so it's more functional. And then mommy and daddy get this beautiful view of our yard. And so the lesson of all of this really is before you start a project and just go gung-ho at it like I did. One of the biggest lessons I learned in just jumping into this project in general is like, just don't jump into things. Have a plan, have a budget, and be really sure about that plan, because I thought I was really sure about that closet. I bought a lot of supplies, got halfway into it, and I was like, doesn't feel right anymore. So that's it. But I guess to conclude everything, yeah, have a plan, be organized, and just enjoy it. I think that's the biggest thing. Enjoy your renovation, especially if it's going to be your home. We're going to be in this home for a long time, I hope, unless like somehow the market goes crazy and our house is worth a lot of money and we can get rich. I don't know. Unlikely. So we're putting a lot of love into this, and I think this house is going to be really gorgeous when we're done. It'll be a perfect place to grow old and have the kids come back and just enjoy the home that they grew up in is really what this is.